Yo, hello and welcome, or welcome back if you have been to this channel before. I did a review on my chair that I bought recently, which you can find here, and the review seemed to go down quite well. So I'm going to do a little review on another couple of PCs. You probably clicked the thumbnail because you saw that I recently bought the Razer Wolverine Ultimate Edition. Now before I get started, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, helps me a lot, and also if you do end up liking this, I will be leaving a link to buy this controller in the description below. It helps me as a small content creator, as I get a little kickback, but it doesn't cost you any extra to do that. So yeah, I'm just going to be running through some of the main features of it, what I think. I have been gaming and streaming with it for I think about 2 months now. I wanted to wait until I had some real experience with it and to find out if it had any faults and pros and cons, which there are a couple of cons, but I won't be biased in this. I'm not paid to do this by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, so let's get into it. So yeah, the Razer Wolverine Ultimate. This is it here. Bit like an Xbox controller. So I was a console player for a long time. I had tried the Xbox Elite pad and I didn't really like it too much. I don't know, I have got massive big sausage fingers and big hands, and the thing felt really small for me. Although it was quite weighty, which I did like, I decided to go for this instead. Now I play Warzone mainly currently, and I stream on Facebook and Twitch. I'll put the links in the description below for that, which you can come and see me on. I'm terrible at every game that exists, but I enjoy playing them and I enjoy streaming, and I plan to build a small community of people to watch the stuff that I make. So this little thing, the reason I ended up getting this was it had great reviews, and I'm not going to lie, one of the main things about it for me was the clicky buttons. So if you are into mechanical stuff, the difference between mechanical keyboards and normal keyboards is probably this noise. And I love that, so it gives you the mouse click. So that was one of the main draws. Now, some of the main features this has, so it has multiple buttons. It's obviously got your standard A, B, X and Y, which as I mentioned before are clicky, as opposed to the squishy buttons. It's got interchangeable analog sticks, which come out just like that. And it has an interchangeable D-pad, which comes with 2 in the little case that it comes with. It has all your standard buttons. This one also has, across the bottom, it's got one to switch between your game profiles. It's got a mute button and a volume button for everything that you would need it for. It also has paddles on the back, so it's got the 2 buttons down here that they call M6 and M5. It's got M4 and M3, and then my 2 favourite buttons that they call M1 and M2, which is these 2 here, so they're just inside of the triggers. Another feature it has is, you'll notice here, the throw on these is quite short, and you can actually flick these little switches here to make them like the normal controller, which just gives you quite a lot more throw. But I find that in competitive gaming, if you've got a little bit less throw than everybody else, say for example I'm in a gunfight and it's exactly the same, me and somebody else go to aim down sight at the same time, I'm going to hit aim down sight faster than they are because I have about a millimeter less throw than they do. Unless they're on keyboard and mouse, in which case they're probably going to be quicker. I tried keyboard and mouse for a while. I like this shooting on the mouse, don't get me wrong, love it, but the movement, I mean, I will probably at one point try and get on board with it, but for me, I just feel much more fluid with the controller, and I like playing with it on PC. It means that my transition from Xbox to PC was much easier. So yeah, the pros about this. So one of the first things is, it is a really nice feeling controller. It's got these rubber grips down the back, which even when you get super sweaty, when you're in the last circle in Warzone, it will still stay and you won't start slipping around and whatever else. It also has this little RGB strip here, which for me, if you've seen any of my setup, you will know it is covered in unicorn sick, i.e. RGB everywhere. So that was a big selling point for me, which sounds stupid, but I'll just love having things lighting up purple, pink, the way that I have everything else, as you'll see the lights in the back. So those are some of the features. Now, for me, the paddles on the Elite, if you've seen it before, sit just inside of here and here. However, being somebody that has very large hands, I found that they were just too close in because I'd have to sit with the pad like this. Whereas with this, I can have it right back. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I feel like it's spot on. And the benefit to these is, if you imagine normally, if you're playing with a pad like this and you want to do something like crouch or you want to reload, normally you'd have to take your finger off, but depending on how you map them, you can actually put these buttons to here. So I have jump and crouch on these 2, and then I'll run into what these 2 do in a little bit of time. These I will have take and change weapons. So really, my fingers never, my thumbs never need to leave the analog sticks, which just helps quite a lot in hundreds of different scenarios. One thing that I have not quite started using yet is that these M5 and M6 are naturally tagged to two different modes. One is quick and the other one is slow. So this one is called focus, I think it's called. So what it does is if you have your sensitivity up quite high and you're spinning about, if you hold this button, or tap is one of the options you can put on. If you hold it, it'll actually put you from going fast, and as soon as you hold it, it will slow down. And it can be quite handy, especially for sniping. I've used it in some gunfights, depending on what the scenario is. But it's quite a handy little feature. I don't use it enough, and I really kind of should, and I will at some point. Yeah, as far as pros go, I love the thing, and now it's taken quite a beating over the last 2 months. And I will get into the cons shortly, but it's held up amazingly well, and I love the thing. I probably won't go back to another controller ever again now that I've played with this one. So, cons. Now, I hate to say that there are a couple of cons with it, as much as I wouldn't want to be. The biggest con for anybody buying this is going to be that it is not wireless. The cable it comes with is very generous. It's about 3 meters long or something. The connection is super, super tight, so it's never going to come anywhere loose when you're playing in any scenario. Yeah, so it's never going to come loose in any way. But if wireless is what you want to go for, if you play on a couch to a TV or whatever, you know, I wouldn't really recommend it for that, just because you don't get that wireless benefit that you might have at other times. The next con I'm going to give it, and probably the only other one, is that, like I say, I had this for 2 months, and now the X button compared to the B, A, and Y, I don't know if it's just gunk from my hands or sweat or what, but I have a lot less throw in the X button now than I do in the B, and I'm kind of upset about that. I've tried to clean it, but the gap around is just so small that I can't get anything in to take out whatever it is that's stopping the throw. So that's kind of one thing that's annoyed me a little bit. It might be my own fault, I don't know, but I will play with it for a while and see if it clears. If not, it is under warranty, so I will probably send it back to get it changed. So those are the only 2 real cons I've come across with this. I love it compared to any other controller I've ever played with, and like I say, I've played with the Elite, but where the back buttons are, they just didn't suit me in the slightest, because I've got really long fingers and a big, massive, big hand, so those suit me much better. But yeah, if you're looking for a gaming controller for competitive gaming or even just casual gaming, I would say this is an amazing shout. It does work on Xbox, it doesn't work on PlayStation obviously, but yeah, Xbox and PC, and I use it on PC as a PC gamer, and I could not recommend this thing enough. It's brilliant. So I'll leave a link to it below if you fancy buying it, or if you have any other questions about the pad. This was just a really quick review of this and what I think of it so far. Yeah, if you fancy buying it, I will have a link down in the description below for you to go and have a look. It is kind of expensive depending on how you look at it. I mean, if you're going to use it every day like me, probably worth investing in, I would say. I'm glad I did. Although it was a little bit of saving for it, 100 and whatever quid. You think that's mental for a pad, but considering how much you use it, I would say it's definitely worth it. So yeah, if you enjoyed this review, please click the subscribe button, like, share, whatever it is that you want to do, and don't forget to click that bell notification so that you keep in touch with all my other videos. If you did enjoy this, and you would like any other videos like this, please leave a comment, let me know. If you want me to go over anything else in my gaming setup, or in my entire rig, tell me in the comments, and I will arrange that for you. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.